Hello, I'm Patty Morris. I'm the Program Manager for the Defense Veteran Eye Vision Registry. I'm also the Director of Technologies for the Vision Center of Excellence, which is a joint organization between the DoD and the VA to actually invest our time and efforts and focus on improving and restoring and protecting the vision of our warfighters and veterans out there through the spectrum care. The concept behind Aviva is we had a community of vision specialists. I always mess that up because, they're all over in many cares. When I say that, I mean all the way from the ocular physician that sees you up to where you get blind rehabilitation. And they needed the ability to get to their data. And their data was done in two types of manners. You had where it was computable and non-computable, a very large portion of it being computable, and they need the ability to get that information in order to guide clinical practices, and they need the ability to inform policy as well as to guide research when it came to vision, is to preserve the vision, to protect the vision, as well as possibly one day restore that vision, because currently today we do not have that ability. So one of the things that we wanted to do is we wanted to make sure that we had a collaborative effort. So you hear this a lot. You hear SOA, and you hear Agile, and we hear collaboration, community of interest, all of these buzzwords in our community. And one of the things we did is we took all these methods together and we built ourselves a roadmap. So what did we want to do? We wanted to take a community of interest. We wanted to say, okay, DoD, VA, vision, academia, everyone that has to do with vision across that spectrum of care, identify what your needs are. Tell me what those things are that you want to do. Have a common goal and what it is that we need to achieve. We then, from there, decided that one of the next things that we need to make sure that we did was we ensured that we had proper collaboration between the functional and the technical. The technical team had to understand the intent and the business need of the functional team, and the functional team had to be able to understand what it was IT had the capability of providing you, and so that they could really get what they want. And we wanted to use Agile. We wanted to make sure that we could deliver them a product in a very timely manner. The next piece that we did, well, I guess I'm talking faster than I'm pushing the button. My apologies. So the next thing we did is we built a toolkit, and our toolkit included SOA architecture. We wanted to make sure that all the pieces inside the environment were independent of each other, so that as IT grows and IT changes rapidly, one of the things we need to have the ability to do is to give that capability to our users very quickly. Analytics, it's a growing area out there. Ontologies, it's continuously changing. We didn't want to lock them into a capability, but instead we wanted to give them the ability to leverage all the newer things that are going and grow as their community grows. We also needed to understand that we were a pilot, so we needed to make sure that as we built a solution, we could transition into a program so we can get it to our users very quickly. So we established some key rules in place. They've locked the requirements. We're building them a tool. We're going through all the processes to get it in their hands. One of the really cool things about this product is we actually identified a capability in the VA. We took that capability in the VA that they allowed us to use. We realized it met 60% of our needs, and we added the extra 40% on top. That actually allowed us to reduce the development cost, and it made it so that we went from a pilot to a program in 23 months. That's pretty unique for a DoD system being developed for our user community. We also wanted to make sure we stayed, yet again, agile. When we talk about users, and I talked about the collaboration, we actually took the users and we embedded them into the process. Our users sat with the developers. They talked to them all the time. We had them up front and often. We wanted to make sure they were part of the testing process. We put them in and said, while our developers are testing, we want our users to test too. We want to move them along. So at the end of the day, we ended up standardizing the data. That data standardization allowed us to leverage national standards across the board. And by doing all of those pieces and putting all these things together, we ended up giving our vision community a tool. For the first time, we're going to take data that they knew was out there. We're going to give it meaning. We're going to give it to them and empower them with the ability to conduct longitudinal analysis that's going to allow them to enhance clinical guidelines and practices for how we treat vision. It's going to allow them the ability to guide research, identify those gaps and guide this research with fact-based evidence. It's also going to allow them the ability to inform policy, all with the goal of preserving and protecting and possibly restoring the vision of not only just our warfighters but our veterans. So thank you, and hopefully you vote for us.
Thanks, great job, Patty. Open it up to the judges. Okay, jumping in there.
I'll go first. This is kind of like The Voice, they said. So this was very good for me. It was, the collaboration aspect was wonderful, that they were able to constantly work with the functional groups as well as the users, and then taking technology and really applying it to real-life human problems and taking the thread all the way through to policy kinds of impacts was wonderful.
Yeah, and just echoing some of those same thoughts. I mean, this is obviously a hugely important problem of improving healthcare for veterans. It's also a hugely complex problem that could take years and decades to solve, and it's remarkable what they've been able to achieve in a relatively short period of 23 months to really get a capability out there. So, not getting intimidated by the size and complexity of the problem, but really focusing on a solution and driving toward that. Very impressive.
Yeah, the mission's so important, and I understand they're porting it to other types of injuries, not just eye, and the longitudinal studies will yield interesting results. Great use of the technology, though, and methods, agile, standardized data structures, really important for that to get to open data. And I thought the slide, a repeatable road to success methods, I mean, that says it all in like a best practice. Very impressive.
Great, thanks, Andy. Dave?
Yeah, I thought that some of the notes that Patty hit were a little sharp at times. No, I'm just kidding. I think this is a great story on the power of data in government, the power of data and analytics, just to be able to pull together this kind of repository and then to expand it out and use it like this, I think is what big data is all about. So it's really a great practical example of that.